From street racing to heists to espionage, Dominique Toretto and his gang of misfits have been all over the world, completing death-defying and reality-bending stunts for the last 20 years in the Fast and Furious franchise. In the latest iteration, F9, the Fast Saga, there is little difference from the previous several movies. There's a race against time, there are bad guys, there are multiple vehicles, including a rocket car, and of course, there's family. I'm Ronald Young Jr., and I'm leaving the theater. All right, this is Ronald, and I am leaving the theater. I'm sorry. I'm leaving the theater after seeing.
How we started this?
Yeah, F9, the Fast Saga. I'm here with
Your man Curtis Majors again.
All right, we are once again. That's F9, the Fast Saga. Directed by Justin Lin, written by Daniel Casey and Justin Lin, story by Daniel Casey, Justin Lin, and Alfred Botello, starring Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, John Cena, Jordana Brewster, Nathalie Emmanuel, Sung Kang, Michael Rooker, Helen Mirren, Kirt Russell, Charlize Theron, also Cardi B, multiple cameos from Boward Woward. Everybody was in this movie.
Everyone and their mama.
Everybody from every iteration was in this movie. Ridiculous. All right, so
They just said cut the check.
yeah, pretty much. Like we this is like
It's not gonna be a no episode.
no, it's not. This is like I don't know how to do this because I feel like as a critic, and it took me a while to become like a professional critic, even part-time, and it took me a while to get here, but I want to give like a real critical analysis of this movie, but it's hard to do that because I don't think this was like a real movie. Like, I don't think we just left like we left definitely a blockbuster attempt or whatever. All right, what did you think of the movie?
It's so hard to put in words, man. It was just comical. It was a bit over the top. Like, I knew I was supposed to come in here and suspend my mind because I've already seen the previous 8, but this one just like, I don't know. Maybe if I was 21 and just, I don't know, man. Just
yeah, like. So so if you've seen any of, first of all, if you're new to my reviews, if you're new to Fast and Furious world, I have another podcast called Time Well Spent. And on 2 episodes, I think they're called Furious and Fast 2. They're very early episodes of the show. I explained the whole franchise to my mom. If you don't want to watch the movies, go back and listen to those episodes. They're very fun. You can get recap the movies that way. But for everybody else, I'll give you a brief recap. There's a street racing gang in the first movie, and 9 movies later, now they're super spies. That is they were a street racing gang. They were running from the cops. They had normal people problems. Now somehow they work for the CIA. And I mean, and I think there was a couple things, like for instance, like I personally like 4, 5, and 6. I think those are the best ones. It is Fast and Furious is when they're stealing gas and they're driving, they break that vault out of the bank and they're driving it around and The Rock shows up for 2 of those. Like, I'm like, for me, those are my favorite ones. They stopped being my favorite after Paul Walker died and they trying to keep going with it. And the minute The Rock averted a nuclear missile with his hands, I was like, I can't. I can't do this anymore with y'all. Like y'all are taking me on a journey too far. And this movie was all that. They just decided, because in the 8th movie, I believe they were driving cars through Dubai, through the buildings in Dubai from one to another, and like 1,000 feet in the air, all that. And I feel like, and this one they decided, like, because I think they ran out of stunts, and all the stunts were good early on. And I'm gonna stop talking in a minute, but. All the stunts I'm just thinking through the big stunts. They had that one stunt where they drove the car off the cliff and then they kind of like floated away from the car and fell into the water. I thought that was really cool. They had one where they drove the vault around in the streets. That was a big stunt. That was really cool. They had things where they were like taking the cars off the train and like driving a truck next to the train. That was cool. The way they stole the gas, that was cool. There's a bunch of stuff, and we're not saying that they weren't defying physics and doing all this stuff throughout the whole time they've been making these movies. But like they've gotten to a place where I'm like, hey man, what y'all doing? Like what do you expect from us? What do you think?
I feel you. Like I said, you knew you're supposed to suspend reality, but now like it's just too much.
Yeah.
It's like I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then when you try to mix in, like they try to make it more grounded. Like just give me a summer blockbuster. Like just keep going with the stunts. I don't need all the backstory. Like introduce someone, okay, that's their new enemy. Keep going. I don't need to see how he became bad.
We don't worth it. No, you're right. Okay, and to be clear, I don't want anybody to listen to this and be like, what? We are two guys that love the Avengers movies. Yeah. Curtis is wearing an Avengers shirt right now. We love the Avengers movies. We know how to suspend our reality. We understand that. And we're not saying that. And I think there's people listening where you watch the movies that you get. What we're saying is there's been some sort of sliding scale on these movies from the beginning. Because when we walked into the Avengers, they were like, these are superheroes. Yeah. But these some of them,
normal people.
Yeah. But I was going to say, in Avengers, some people died. Yeah. Some people got hit by bullets. Yeah. Some people fell off cliffs and like were dead. You know what I mean? Yes.
No one is dying.
Nobody dies. Nobody dies. Even the person that's actually dead in real life is somehow still alive in this movie.
And that's not a spoiler because they show him in the preview.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, it's over. It's not a big moment.
No,
he's
not at all.
Back.
Okay, so you thought I was talking about Han. I'm saying that Paul Walker is dead in real life and somehow is still alive in the Fast and Furious universe. Yeah. So there's no way to kill anybody in this thing.
There's no rules in their universe.
Yeah.
Like it's no limits.
Yeah.
Like even Avengers has limits.
Yes.
Like they still grounded. Like it's like, oh, they take it to one level, but then somehow they do make it like, oh, okay, you can't do that in this universe. In Fast and Furious, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Like
they break their own rules constantly.
Yeah. Like Tyrese Gibson, they made him look like Black Panther. Like
what was that? The fighting? Yeah, between him and Tej, I was like, these guys were never doing hand-to-hand combat.
Running from a submachine gun, like they're right behind.
Oh my God, yes. I forgot to say early in the movie, this guy is running from people shooting submachine guns at him. He puts his hands over his head. Yes, and he's just like dodging them somehow, and it's like I think it was, and at some point the movie tries to be meta, which irritated me because at one point Roman turns to Tej and says, "Hey Tej, does it seem weird that we don't ever die in any of these movies? Yeah. I mean, in any of these adventures?" He's like, "We had a submarine."
Tyrese, he just said, "Cut the check." He didn't care what the script said. He just said, "I see whatever, man. Just as long as the check clears, I'm here."
Yeah, pretty. Like I think that's how everybody in this movie just showed up for a paycheck.
Tyrese though, he didn't say anything though. Yeah. His whole lyrics was just dumb. I mean, not lyrics, but his lines.
Yeah,
it was just they were dumb.
Yeah,
like
from the very beginning,
he was just there to be corny.
Yeah,
that was it.
And like play off Tej. And I think the other thing is like Ludacris. I was sitting there watching this, and I realized nobody in this movie is a great actor. But when John Cena shows up, like John Cena's acting is on par with everyone else's, and John Cena started acting like 15 years after some of these people, and he's like on par with them, and I'm like, that's because all of y'all are garbage. Yeah, it's every single person.
But he also probably took him more shit. He's getting introduced. Like this is some of them. Like
I love that you gave him credit for that too, because he did. It did seem like he took it a little more seriously than the rest of them.
Serious. Yeah, but he had to earn his chops. So like. He's definitely going to keep going. Same way branched off like The Rock probably. He'll have his own spinoff, I'm sure, at some point.
Well, do you think that they're going to keep going with The Rock spinoffs with Jason Statham? Because I know, because they're now bringing Jason Statham back into the fold, it looks like, for 10. I mean, are they going to bring The Rock back from the fold? Because they didn't even mention Idris Elba and the rest of these guys that live in that universe.
Yeah.
Or like, it seems like at some point they'd be like, hey, remember that super black guy that was killing everybody last week?
The Rock keeps coming in with cash cow, so he's not letting that cash cow go.
Yeah.
So even if he's not,
and he doesn't like Vin Diesel.
Yeah, if he doesn't stay with Statham, he doesn't need him. Like, he's The Rock. So
that's true.
He can do whatever he wants.
Oh yeah, and he's got Black Adam. He's doing stuff. Yeah, he's got his tequila, like all that. He doesn't need to do this.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I wrote so many notes. I'm gonna read them all. I wrote. So early in the movie, we are introduced to Dom's father, and during a pit stop, he doles out wisdom to Dom like they're not in a race. He's just like, hey, man, when you dream big, keep dream. I'm like, yo, you in a race, man. Like, change the times. We got to go enough time to have this kind of heart-to-heart with you. Yeah. I don't understand how old Dom was supposed to be in 1989 because in 2001 was when these movies started. Dom was it 2001? Yeah. Dom was like, I'm like, how old was Dom supposed to be then?
It's been reality.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying. I was like, when was the first movie set? Because the first movie was set in 2001. This one was set, like, this event happened where his father dies in 1989, and they retcon his brother into that in 1989. I wrote, are they spies now? Which is just because at one point they're running up into a place with guns and a white T-shirt.
That's no combat gear.
Yeah, not one lick of combat gear.
They never mess up a mission. Like Navy SEALs mess up, and they train every day. They came out of hiding and just jumped right back into action.
Yeah, they're like, we were made for this. And I'm like, the thing is, they didn't even have an escort this time. Because normally, think about it, when they started doing these, you have The Rock or somebody with you. Yes, you didn't have nobody. They just ran in there themselves like, yo, we got this. Tej got the technology. I'm like, Ludacris does not have your back, man.
They were more in check than the Avengers.
Yeah, they really were, yo. They were like, they ran out there, yo, we ready to go. The Avengers like, hold on, let's feel this out. I don't know.
They need the Sokovia course.
Yeah. Yeah, yo, they really, Valid, I like that. I said Tyrese doesn't get shot. We talked about that. I said, why is Michelle Rodriguez on a motorcycle? And then Curtis says, even Captain America wore a helmet. He said it in the theater while we were sitting there. I said gravity has ceased to exist in these movies. They drove over a bridge as it was breaking. And I mean, it was a rickety bridge. When you see this, I mean, and honestly, if you can see this,
it was like the cartoons where the bridge goes out beneath and Bug still runs on air.
Yes, it was
makes it across.
Correct. That's exactly what it was. It was Bugs Bunny. Yeah, but they were in a car and they drive across this rickety bridge across while it's going. This dude just took Nos and just drove off a cliff, and a plane comes over and picks him up. And I was like, come on, man. What?
The whole movie,
nah, they good.
Yeah,
nah, they good. I'm not, whatever, man. Y'all, like, I'm not spoiling. Like, are you kidding me?
Hey,
like, what am I spoiling?
I don't want to mean to steal your line, but that show was trash.
Yeah, it was absolute garbage. It was absolute garbage. How is Ludacris still terrible at acting? Why can't he deliver a line without telegraphing? Then when he goes, yo, if he gets it, he'll be the god of damn near everything. I'm like, what? Why are you saying it like that? Stop saying it like that. The movie tries to get meta. We talked about that. I said they should have killed off Brian. It doesn't make sense that he's alive and off camera. And I feel like they keep trying to convince us that the spirit of Brian is still in this movie.
They relegated him to a baby sister and let his wife go fight.
Yeah. Yo, there's a plot point in this movie. And I even thought about this because I knew Dom and Letty would have to go fight, and they had a kid. They'd have to leave the kid behind. And I remember thinking, who's going to watch the kid? All of a sudden, Mia shows up, and Mia's like, Brian's watching the kids. I'm like, that is not canon. That is not making any sense. I said the origin story is dumb. Justin Lin can't save this, and I thought he did the best of the Fast and Furious movies. He did 4, 5, and 6, which are my favorites. This was not those.
It doesn't need saving. It's going to make big money.
Oh, it absolutely is. And they're going to make another one.
I'll probably go see that too.
And I will. And I'm like, that's the thing. And I'm like, I'm starting to think, are we being irresponsible by not just waiting for it to come to streaming or?
But I mean, our opinion is our opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it could be like, remember when Transformers came out? They said it was trash, and
it
broke all records.
It did.
It word of mouth, and everyone was like, "No, it was pretty good." So,
I thought that first one was.
Yeah, I'm talking about the second one. Remember the second one? Everyone.
Dark of the Moon.
Yeah. That wasn't the second.
That's the second one.
This one will do big numbers and people.
Yeah. No, but
it
see,
has this audience. They're gonna love it.
But see, that's the thing.
People was even clapping in there.
No, they were, but I'm like, okay, so that was what I was trying to feel out. I'm like, yeah. So at one point, people started clapping in the theater, and I got angry and yelled, "Stop clapping!" It was a smattering of clapping. And I was like, stop clapping. I don't know why you guys are clapping. Yeah, what you say?
Read a pity laugh.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you can't laugh at that.
No, I was so mad. Like, people were laughing and clapping. And that's the thing. I was wondering, you do these midnight movie specials and people go and laugh and have a good time and they drink and all that. And I was wondering if that's what was happening. I'm like, was this earnest clapping? Like, people were like, oh, I like this movie, or was it like, this is ridiculous?
No, they have their audience. There's people that love them just like we love comic books, and people love this.
I feel like there has to be, because my thing is like, at some point they know me and you are gonna spend the money to see it, right? Yeah. We're gonna see it, we're gonna make fun of it. Yeah. There has to be other people doing that too.
Oh, for sure. But there's a bunch of people that walk out there thinking that's a 5-star movie.
I believe that. I think that percentage is. I want to believe that percentage has to be lower.
Audience though, like it's their hardcore.
Yeah, but we're part of that hardcore audience. Like, we've seen everyone in theaters.
But this is what is it called? It's I don't know. I can't think of the word.
No, but I'm saying,
you know what I'm talking about. Like,
I hear you, but I think we and them, I think we're the same people.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think
same side of the point.
But I'd say, like, percentage wise, I'd have to say in there, I would say at least half of those people were laughing ironically.
Yeah,
and the other half were laughing unironically. Yeah. And I feel like the half that laughs unironically, I want to go to them and be like, hey man, I really want to study you. Like, you have to explain to me why you thought that was actually like good. You know what I mean?
People like what they like.
Yeah, no, that's true. I'm not mad at that.
These Vin Diesel stands, like they're gonna see what people like. Triple X. Like,
has Vin Diesel made a movie that wasn't corny? The only one he hasn't made. Well, Mr. What is it? The Iron Giant was good, but it was also a little bit corny, but whatever.
I watched these movies and this one. Like, I've never seen him in anything else.
You don't need to. I mean, what else? I mean, last year he was in Blood Rain, which is the same thing. He's been in Triple X, which is the same thing. Yeah. He's been in like several other movies, which are all the same thing.
I just like him because he's just gonna keep getting that bag. One trick pony, but he living the life
every time. You're absolutely correct. I said this movie is too dumb to be as meta as it's trying to be. Stop commenting on yourself. Oh man, Curtis, we haven't even talked about this. All right, this is actually a spoiler, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I just have to. I have to say it out loud to help process it. They went to space, y'all. They went to space. They went to space. They went to space, y'all. They went into space. They went into space in a car. In a car. They went to space in a car. They went to space.
They tested like 48 hours earlier or some crazy stuff. Like,
yeah, they barely tested the car. They drove the car into space. They went to space, y'all. They went to space. And there was a line where Tyrese says, came from the ghetto, now I'm in space. And I was like, a black person did not write that line.
He said, cut the check.
Yeah, he really, he sold his soul for this one.
Yeah. He didn't care, man.
Because I'm like, you're telling me you saw George Floyd like last summer, you saw this, and you said out of your mouth.
I don't think he went that deep.
No, of course he didn't. I know. I feel like I'm not mad that he didn't go that deep. No. It's like, if you're getting paid, if you, I mean, you said acting with air quotes, right? Because you said acting. Okay.
Hey, man, I can't knock his hustle. I would have been doing the same thing if they throw $1 million at my feet. Like,
I'm not mad at that.
He's been in it since the second one, so he's not like he's jumping in. Like, he's in it. So,
well, technically, okay. So Tyrese showed up in 2, and they didn't show up again until 5. He's not in Fast and Furious, the fourth one, but he's in 5 and he's in 6. And I'm telling you, y'all,
but those are part of the reboot, so they had to bring back more.
No. Oh no. This isn't an argument. No, I'm saying when I think about, if you think about Tyrese's role in 2, because that's when Ludacris was there too. Mm-hmm. If you think about his role in 2, 5, and 6, they had funny lines, they did all that, and it was great. But I feel like sometimes I think what bothers me about this is the executives get in there and just be like, yeah, throw a bunch of jokes, whatever, like just do it, whatever. And I feel like the parts, and I encourage everybody to go back and watch 4, 5, and 6 specifically, because those are enjoyable movies. They're action movies. You can sit down. If they're on, you enjoy them. Like, they're fun. And I feel like they've gotten to a place now where I'm like, I want to have fun and I want them to be good, but they
that sense of grounding.
Yeah.
But not the way what made it more irritating was how they started it. Like, I don't need a backstory about Dom. Like, he is who he is now. Like, I don't need to see what happened with him and his brother and and all that. It just they tried to. You wait till 9 to like get some grounding, like in the sentimental way. Like no, just a lot. I'd have been more happy if they just were the superheroes throughout the whole movie and saved the day. Like that's what I came to see. But then you started off trying to be all sentimental. I'm like, no, man, just get to the fighting. Like there's too much of that going around. Just stick to what y'all do. Action.
The other thing I noted was, and I thought this was going to be a problem. So 4 was 106 minutes. 5 was 130. 6 was 130. 7 was 136. 8 was 137, and this one was 145. So they keep making them a little bit longer. And we could obviously see the things that could be cut. Yeah. And I'm like, when you do a 106-minute movie, an action movie, you're just set up. You're set up, beginning, middle, end. You're setting up, payoff. That's it. And we leave satisfied. Right. And I feel like they're getting to a place with some of these where I'm like, if you're not an Avengers movie, you have no business being over 2 hours and 15 minutes. This movie was 2 hours and 25 minutes. Yeah. And I'm like, this one could have easily been like under 2 hours. It could have been hour 30, hour 45, and I would have been satisfied.
Yeah, way more satisfied.
Yeah. And I think you're right. The background of it is what, like, why are you giving me all this backstory that I didn't ask for? Yeah. So I don't know. This episode's getting kind of long, but like, let me give a rating on this.
This time, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we walked out flat. There was a thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah. So what do you rate this movie?
1.5. I think that's being generous.
You know what? I was like, I thought
maybe 1. Like,
this is a 1-star movie. Yeah. Like it is because, and I'm like, I tried to in my head. Because I know people are going to be like, oh, it's just fun. Just get out there. And I'm like, listen.
I tried to have fun. The fun I had was laughing at how ridiculous it was.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like, and that's what I really want to say that too. If you want to go and make this a night out and have fun with your friends and see your friends and talk through the movie and make fun of it, then yes, it's then a 3-4 star movie at that point because like who cares, right? Yeah. But I'm like, if you're going expecting to see like a critical masterpiece, unless this is already your type of thing, you're like, Ronald, this is right up my alley, this is what I love. Then then maybe it's going to be good for you. Yeah, then you're going to love that. But I feel like one of the best parts about being at this movie, and I'm glad I saw it with Curtis, was because Curtis is a movie watcher, and Curtis had a ball laughing at everything. I was getting more angry as the movie went on, but Curtis was having a ball. Every time I thought I was going to get too angry, I turned and Curtis would be laughing so hard that I'd be like, I couldn't be upset anymore. So I think that's what made it a good time for me.
A movie like that, you can't make you mad. You just gotta sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah,
man, the best you can.
Yeah, and you did the right thing. I listen, man. Yeah, and so I give it 1 of 5 stars. It's available in theaters. See it at your own risk. Yeah. You could just wait for this one to come on streaming. If you've seen 7 and 8 and the stuff they did in those, dial that up another couple notches and you got it.
If you've seen them all, there's no reason not to go see this one. You probably won't be. I'm not disappointed. It was just too much. Like, but I'm not disappointed. I knew what I was walking into. I can't really complain other than just laugh. It was a good time.
I hear what you're saying. I'm like, it did not. I think I came in with very low expectations. Yeah, I did. However,
they managed to go beneath.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Yes, I was gonna say. Yeah. So I feel like it definitely went below. It did not meet those expectations because I'm like, I went in being like, this is going to be a 2-star movie, and it's a 1-star movie. And that's why I'm like, if it would have just been okay, I would have been like 3-star. Go see it in the theater, enjoy your summer, get out of the heat, all that. Now I'm saying like, you know what, just go ahead and sweat a little bit. Yeah. Stay outside. Like, go for a walk or something. Like, don't spend $14 on this, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, 1 of 5 stars, I don't know.
Or if you've been cooped up and, you want to get out because the world's opening back up, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Go out, have some fun.
Yeah. This is a good reason, and that's the thing. It's a good, if you want to go out, you have a good time, you really don't want to think, I'm going to forget about this movie. Yeah. Like, I'm not even going to remember that. Like, this episode will be the only reason why I remember this movie. So, if you want to do that, do that. But other than that, man,
even when we go see 10, we're not going to remember this movie.
No, yes, I'm going to need them to refresh my memory. Next year when we go, whenever it comes out, when 10 comes out, because they set up for a 10 already, I'm not going to remember anything that happened in this one. So So yeah, I'll see the kid or Brian Jr. and be like, yeah, well, whatevs.
He'll probably be driving and helping
Yeah,
by then.
I'm expecting that. I'm expecting that kid's gonna be, and they're gonna be like, all right, now we're doing Fast and Furious the TV series with the kids on CW.
Fast and Furious Tykes.
Yeah, yes. Fast and Furious Little Drive, whatever. All right. So anyway, with that, like 1 of 5 stars, see it or don't. Summer blockbuster. There's a lot of other good movies coming out. You can wait. It's up to you. I'm not going to make your decision for you. Make your decision for yourself. With that, Leaving the Theater is a production of Oh It's Big Ron Studios. Theme music by the mysterious Breakmaster Cylinder. To find out more about this show and other Oh It's Big Ron Studios shows, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Oh It's Big Ron. That's at ohitsBigRon. If you like this show, check out our sister show, Time Well Spent. Leaving the Theater will be back soon. Thanks for listening.